We're planning on moving to Florida and more people are starting to cruise in Michigan? This is your Cruise News Fix. Welcome back to the Cruise World. This is the Cruise News Fix, and I'm returning from a quick trip from Florida to look for some property because we're soon going to be moving the Cruise World headquarters to the Sunshine State. More on that as progress moves along. And man, for a minute there, we were wondering if we would get back as scheduled with all the craziness with the FAA and all the flights being grounded on Wednesday for a while. Let us know if you were affected by that, but here we are, and it's time for the Cruise News Fix. When cruise ships need repairs, scheduled maintenance, or updates, they're taken out of passenger service and go into what's called a dry dock. Now, some of you may be wondering what the heck is a dry dock, and it's basically a narrow basin or vessel that can be flooded to allow a load, in this case a ship, to be floated in. Then it's drained to allow that load to come to rest on a dry platform. Dry docks are used for the construction, maintenance, and repair of ships, boats, and other watercraft. And this month, there are several cruise ships either already in or scheduled to be in dry dock, including a couple that you may be familiar with. Royal Caribbean's Independence of the Seas went into dry dock on January 6th. She'll be undergoing routine technical improvements and hotel upkeep in Cadiz, Spain. She's set to return to the U.S. to resume service on February 17th. And the Carnival Elation, which is currently sailing out of Jacksonville, will also be heading to dry dock later this month. Starting on the 21st, she will be laid up for technical and hotel maintenance and is scheduled to return to service on February 11th. Okay guys, I have a question for you.
I got a question for you.
Have you ever or would you consider cruising solo? Now go ahead and leave your answers down in the comments and I'll tell you why I'm asking. Norwegian Cruise Line commissioned research that revealed that 37%, that's 1 out of every 3 British travelers, prefer to travel solo. And that 31% of the Brits polled already have a solo holiday booked in 2023. Now this blew my mind because I would venture to guess that this number in the US is way lower. Now, I know that usually a few days into a cruise, my wife usually tells me that she wishes she would have left me at home, but I think she's kidding, right? Gary Anslow is NCL's Senior Sales Director for UK and Ireland, and he said, quote, "We can see from the survey that enjoying the beauty of travel on your own enables a truly authentic experience and provides for self-discovery and growth. Plus, meeting fellow solo travelers can even lead to long-lasting friendships." The study, which involved 2,000 adults, showed that some of the top reasons for preferring solo trips are treating themselves, reconnecting with themselves after a breakup, and simply not having to put up with annoying habits from fellow travelers, as well as not having the risk of drama or fallings out. Norwegian Cruise Line is particularly interested in these findings because they've been targeting solo travelers since they launched their studio concept back in 2010. The studio cabins are designed and priced exclusively for solo cruisers and can be found on 9 different NCL ships sailing to destinations like Hawaii, Alaska, the Caribbean, and Europe. One of the biggest arguments from the cruise haters is that megaships are harmful to the environment, and one of the ways to reduce their footprint is the ability for ships to connect to shore power while they're sitting in port. And in San Diego, they've only had the ability for 1 ship to hook to shore power at a time until now. For the first time today, 2 ships in San Diego can be simultaneously connected to shore power rather than running their diesel engines. And the Disney Wonder and MS Insignia will be the first 2 cruise vessels to use shore power at the same time there. The Port of San Diego has invested $4.6 million to complete the project that will result in at least a 90% overall reduction of harmful pollutants, and that is some good cruise news. And speaking of good cruise news, if you like staying up on the latest happenings in the cruise world, we would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. We're dedicated to bringing you fun and informative cruise content, so if you love cruising, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we thank you in advance. As I mentioned in the opener, we will be moving to Florida in the near future, but for now, we're here in Michigan, which is also known as the Great Lakes State. And when you think about this area, you don't really think about cruising. And when you think about expedition sailings, the first destinations that come to mind are usually places like Antarctica, the Galapagos, Iceland, but a destination that's gaining a lot of interest is none other than the Great Lakes. As someone that was born and raised in this area and lived here most of my life, I can attest that the region has a lot to offer, from vibrant cities, relaxed lakeside villages, stunning natural beauty, and diverse cultures. Some of the highlights on various Great Lakes cruises include Montreal, Toronto, Niagara Falls, Thunder Bay, Mackinac Island, passing beneath the Mackinac Bridge and through the locks in Sault Ste. Marie, and of course, I must mention the Motor City. Now, many of the Great Lakes cruises stick to the eastern and northern portions of the Great Lake region, but some do travel over to Lake Michigan and hit amazing destinations like Green Bay and Chicago. And I do like those cities, even if I hate their football teams. Fun fact, the Great Lakes hold 21% of the planet's surface fresh water. And because they're so big, they often have similar weather conditions to ocean cruises, like large waves, strong winds, as well as amazing sunrises and sunsets. There are a ton of great cruise operators that cruise in the region, so you can shop around, but some of the more well-known lines include Viking, Windstar, and Silversea. And if I can make a suggestion, if you can find a cruise that you like in the fall, the changing colors up here are amazing. The Great Lakes Cruise Association has put together a video showing what the region has to offer, and I've thrown a link for that down in the description if you'd like to check that out later. January through March is known as wave season. It's a popular time of year for travelers to book their vacations, and the cruise lines are often offering some of their best deals of the year. And this year, that's especially true for Carnival brand P&O Cruises, who this week reported its biggest ever booking day. P&O Cruises President Paul Ludlow said, "These record-breaking days are a testament to the fact that a P&O cruise holiday provides extraordinary value for the money, which is critical at the moment, and also demonstrates how much everyone values a holiday." P&O has one of the youngest fleets in the industry, led by 2 XL class ships, the Iona and the brand new Arvia. And even though P&O is a UK brand, you don't have to go that far if you want to experience the beautiful new Arvia, because next week she's sailing across the Atlantic to home port in Barbados and sail the Caribbean. P&O's wave season deals run through March 6th, so what are you waiting for? Thanks for tuning in to the Cruise News Fix today. We'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the notifications on. That way you'll know when we post new videos. Now, we haven't been on the P&O Arvia yet, but next up you should check out this ship tour of her XL class sister, Carnival Celebration. And as always, remember, life is short and cruising is fun.